July holiday. This week, we come back with a balanced market. So we'll jump into those numbers in just a second, but we'll start out with a quick tip. So I forgot to introduce myself. Once again, it's Mark Wayne in the second with Champions Real Estate Team here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Company. So a quick tip today. You hear a lot of people say, let's time the market. Let's get in the market at the right time, whether that's interest rates, housing prices, things of that sort. So my quick tip for you today is the right time to time the market is when you are ready. So ultimately, when the time is right for you, whether you got your down payment in order, you got your credit in order, all those kind of fun things. So that's one thing we like to do here at Champions Real Estate Team is give you a coaching session, basically of what to do as a buyer. When is the right time for you to get ready. I personally like getting into those coaching sessions as soon as possible. So once you decide that, hey, we're thinking about buying a home, maybe it's next year, next 6 months, and things of that sort. But the sooner the better. So that way you can get all your ducks in a row and maximize your home buying experience. So that's kind of our quick tip for today. So the right time, timing the market is basically when you are ready, when the time is right for you, not necessarily what interest rates are doing, what the housing prices are doing, because those are always going to fluctuate back and forth over time. So ultimately it's what's best for you as the home buyer. So let's jump into what's going on in the real estate market here on our numbers. Let me pull it up. Jumped ahead of here a little bit. So anyways, numbers as of last week were 888 on there. So new listings were down a little bit to 678, which is about what we've been prior to last week as far as the numbers go. So I think, that after the holiday, people getting the houses on the market, things of that sort. And then new contracts written down just a little bit. I think we were at 494 or 445. So, like I said, it's coming back to more of a balanced market. Not as crazy, as what last week was. And sold homes right around where we normally are, right around that 500 mark. So congratulations to those happy new homeowners there in there. So months supply of inventory, so we're at 2.8. So it's still a seller's market. 3 to 6 months is kind of zoomed and at that neutral market. And that's the overall market, the overall MLS. So maybe you're in the upper end price points. You're in that 900 million plus area. Maybe that months of inventory may be a neutral market, even into a buyer's market. So, and then down in like maybe the first time home buyers that you're looking, maybe that's, in a seller's market. So it just depends on which market you're in. So like I said, having a coaching session, whether that's from a seller's perspective or a buyer's perspective, you need to know what the plays in your playbook are to know exactly what market are you in and how do you have a game plan and a playbook to run those plays in there. So kind of just highlight a bullet point here. So kind of something that we talked about. So obviously cool down, obviously from last week, fewer new options. Obviously not as many new homes came on the market as it did the previous week. And ultimately stay ready for that right house. So if you're in the market, be vigilant on what's going on out there. Keep an eye on it. Here at Champions, we'll keep an eye on it for you in that side. So obviously from the seller side, buyers, pace is moderated, didn't have as many new contracts written. Obviously pricing still shapes a lot of it, even condition as well. So obviously inventory remains tight from that perspective of it. So ultimately market knowledge and strategy is key. And we preach that a lot every week here when we talk about what's going on in the real estate market. So interest rates, as far as that avenue goes, basically we're kind of right on that 6.5 range, give or take, how much you're putting down, whether you're doing FHA, conventional, government loans versus the private financing there. So if you have questions on any of that, reach out to us. We can get you in contact with some great lenders that can coach and educate you as well. So again, we have videos every week. Jump in and listen to us, and we appreciate it. And like, comment, and all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm here to help. Numbers down here.